Hi, Pisces. Hello. March 2021. This one's for you. Let's see if we can go in like a lion and out like a lamb, just like March. So how's the first quarter of the year treated you? When March ends, we'll be done with the first quarter. It'll be history. It'll be in the books. And certainly comes to mind to say, what kind of first quarter do you want to leave in the books? So I have some inquiry cards here to ask a question. They have the card. Ask a question that will kind of drive the overall energy of this reading for Pisces in March of 2021. This is the one that was on the top, popped right out. What inspires me? Fair question. Pisces, the sign where your water takes the shape of the cup. What inspires you? Start out with the yin. The yin, Pisces, for March 2021, please. What's nice to see, let's say we are in the age of Aquarius, although right at the beginning, but that, things don't disappear immediately. The best things about the age of Pisces are still here. They're just not featured so much. And someday they may dissolve. Who knows? They will dissolve into something better, something further along the evolution for all of humankind. Yin Pisces. Why don't we just start out with the sun for you? What do you say? And then follow that with the Queen of Swords, Yin. Ending with the Hierophant. Oh. Okay, well, Yin. I would say this, you could say this line, your line inspires you. But be inspired, because you've got this wonderful yin energy that is bracketed by major arcana and benevolent major arcana. She seems to be favoring the side with the sun on it. So perhaps the Queen of Swords is contemplating the idea of allowing sunlight to be shed on all things in her realm. And her realm is the realm of thought, the realm of truth. I don't see her needing to cut to the chase here. It's wanting to be, in fact, I don't think she wants to have to deal with that kind of energy in March. She's not after anything, not needing to prove anything. And looking at the sun going, I'm going to spend some time in the sun. It's been a long, cold, lonely winter. People have been bottled up, sequestered, quarantined. Why not walk out into the sunlight and let it shine? But also, her mandate seems to be somewhat the duality aspect, the acceptance aspect, and her nurturing abilities as a divine feminine wants to embrace acceptance. We see bumper stickers all over the place that say acceptance, right? Well, that's one thing, putting it on your bumper. How about the person that's driving the car that the bumper is on? Are they in acceptance? Behind the wheel and other places where there are stimuli that would like to take you off your game? That's where the magnifico power of the sun comes in and blasts away that kind of unnecessary stuff. But the pathway to get there, the pathway to be able to maintain that and to be inspired along the way while you're at it, comes through the Hierophant. Comes through staying connected with your higher self. And in fact, perhaps you will encounter an older gentleman in March who influences you in a way that allows you to see wisdom for yourself, the wisdom of employing your higher self along with your lower self to manifest your holistic self, your true, authentic, integrated, fully integrated self. Lots of bolstering here, Yin. But you know, the universe, by sticking a couple of major arcana cards on either side of your queenly nature, if you will, there's an implied responsibility to that. The universe is saying to you, you're not at small potatoes level. Don't act like it. Don't behave in a way that makes you small potatoes when, in fact, this is your level. Yeah? What about Yang? How is Yang looking for March 2021? So Yang, what's shaking for March? Your watery self. It's been dry in a lot of places this winter, but not where I live. It's been wet. So even water must get tired of being wet, right? Even a water sign. Yang, let's start you out with an Ace of Cups. What do you think? The size of that chalice. Wow. King of Wands. Right beneath the Queen. Symmetry. Tower. So Yang needs to be reminded of what being pried out of a fixed attitude means. And that should be an easy transition, just to be reminded, Yang, about that water flows. Water that doesn't flow stagnates. And I'm sure you're not into stagnation, right? So now, especially not with the king, who is perhaps dealing with his queen in that air sign and fire sign explosion of energy. And if that's the case, that Yang, Pisces Yang, you're in for some kind of a step in the right direction, whether it be meeting someone or making the call to ask the question, introduce yourself, take it home, move it into a long-term relationship. If that's the case, this is your action item. Priority action item. Get into this cup. Take the lid off first and see all the potential that's in there. Believe in yourself, of course. You are perfect. You are whole. And act upon it. Walk into the arena. Walk on stage. And allow yourself to be taken to a new place. I mean, when you consider it, take away the nuances of up in the tower, down to the ground. The tower place and the ground place are just places, right? And the whole implication of a tower moment is something that is beyond yourself, takes you to a new place. So, if you open the fields up to be able to absorb and receive whatever place wants to show up, yes, it'll be quick. Yes, it'll be dramatic. But if you are prepared for that on all levels, that you've done the visualization, you meditate or whatever, that has put you on the king's throne of your own inner world, then this just becomes a dance in the park. You go from one place to another. Perhaps you get dizzy for a moment. It's not the end of the world. But in fact, you're allowed this opportunity to go to new territory and to see things that you didn't see before because you were in a different place, whether it be the top of the tower or a different mindset. That can be a place also. Taken to a new place and being ready for that. And I think that on the other side of that tower moment is inspiration. Note, if you will, that the king is looking at the tower. So the king is expecting and maybe even hoping for something that will pry the whole process out of a ho-hum, kind of an attitude. Yeah, been there, done that. It's not about that at all. In fact, been there and done that, and mediocrity is not inspirational. And once again, Pisces, you can flow with this. And here's your flowing. Here's your world. When the king opens that cup and looks inside, that potential is going to be like, it feels so good. It feels so right. Archetypal energies. 22 numbered angel cards. 22 major arcana that will be placed, 4 of which will be placed down here at the bottom. And they represent the sphere, the orbiting planets, not planets per se, but the equivalent of planets, energy, sources of energy that orbit around what all the details here are within a spiritual biosphere, a place in which growth and growing things happen. And we want to see what these energies are all about. So let's select 4. We'll start out with number 8, the number 8. We'll follow that with the number 9. Go figure. We'll follow that with 18. 8, 9, 18. Could this be 19? 22. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is here. 9 is here. 22 is the last one. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And let us take a look. The situation that is orbiting the spiritual biosphere here. The Emperor. The obstacle. Bigger than we thought, more far-reaching than we might have thought. The asset, magician, and potential outcome, justice. Okay, Pisces. The Emperor is saying to you, you're walking into the way the Emperor looks at your situation. And inside there, you find that he is thinking thoughts like, this is a matter of drawing upon my being, which is Emperor status, Emperor mode, the level of Emperor, the top of the heap, if you will. What heap? The heap of the connection between the heavenly and bringing the inspiration and everything that we are up above to below. as above, so below. And the magician person who can transform that energy like nobody else is this leadership person, the emperor himself. So, Pisces, that it's telling me that you need to get your feet on the ground if they haven't been, or you need to visit the idea that you already have your feet on the ground. So either get them on the ground, or if they're on the ground already, acknowledge it to the extent that it becomes meaningful for March in your world. Why? Because he says so, kind of thing. An obstacle of the tower being like this makes it look like what the yang, whether it be the yang in your life, or you're the yang in someone else's life in a partnership, or the yang in your individual self, should look to the stars for how to get through this moment. It's become another level of importance by being down here in the archetypal overall energies. Okay? And remember, I said that on the other side of this lies inspiration. Well, with it being more of a difficult and a complex dance to get through this tower moment, whatever it is, means the prize, the inspiration, or even the ability to understand what inspires you is going to be even greater than if it were just this by itself in your line as one of the details. Now it has become one of the overlying purposes of the whole process for March. So, watching for obstacles is not a bad thing. We do that on the road when driving our automobiles all the time. We do it constantly and continuously without even thinking about it, because it's become a good habit that we have. And I think this is encouraging you to make this a good habit, to have your feet on the ground while you're your wonderful Pisces self. And your asset is the magician. So put the magician in your life, in your being, to work. That part of you which, when confronted or given the opportunity to review that you have everything that you need to accomplish whatever's at hand, when you get there, that has a feeling attached to it. Well, take that feeling and put that magician to work. Tell your inner magician, walk into his shoes and know for a moment that your whole reason for being is the reveal. Yeah, work up the magic act. Bring your audience up to a high-pitched level where the anticipation is, excellent, really high level. Everybody's on the edge of their seats. Your job is to then do the reveal. And that puts your inner magician to work. Your reveal wants to be attached somewhere, which only you can determine. But to have it in your back pocket, in your toolbox, to pull out at a moment's notice during March is very valuable. Opportunities come and they go. It's up to you whether you will take advantage of these opportunities or not. And I think part of what's going to come out of this is more of your authenticity, Pisces. I mean, sometimes when it's easy to be footloose and fancy-free and really good at dreaming and daydreams and imagination and all that, that's all good unto itself. But how about taking that and bringing it to the world of justice, where it is incumbent upon you to be your authentic self, to embody high character traits, things like honesty, things like the truth, things like acceptance, things like balance. And she sits at the place in the major arcana journey which begins you into, it introduces you, it's the first step you take into learning the ropes of the mystical part of your being. You spent up until cards 1 through 7, you spent learning about what the gods have to say. He's one of those cards that are down there. He's one of those cards that are down there. She's the first step into employing it and bringing it to earth. You've been in training. You've been in basic up until this moment, is what this card is saying. Now, take the next step and graduate. And March is going to be a great time to do it. Look at all the reinforcement you have. Look at the beauty of potential connection for yin, potential connection for yang together. Spring, March the 21st, probably somewhere around there, first day of spring. In this type of energy scenario, to be able to make these moves in your personal life is worth its weight in gold. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. See you next time around. And until then, be well, be safe. Love you all. Bye for now.